Yeah, baby. Yeah. The Mac is back. Back with another demo today. We have something different in store. We're looking at Equalizer by actually one of my favorite audio plugin developers, I guess is the accurate description, but it's by Wavesfactory, and they make, like I said, some of my favorite things out there. First and foremost, I love Track Spacer, which is one of the best mixing tools that I have. Before I talk anymore, there is a bit of an annoying feature in the demo here, the demo version, which I am, by the way, checking out. I haven't bought this yet. In fact, I'm demoing it now.
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
There we go. So that's going to happen probably every, I don't know, half a minute or a minute. But it does spurt out this sentence every once in a while. So yeah, I haven't bought it yet. So I'm genuinely demoing this now to figure out whether I want to do so. And I'm demoing this because the concept is immensely interesting. So it's called Equalizer, but it's not an EQ in the sense that we've typically gotten used to EQs being. I guess that's a sentence. So what it does, to my understanding, and I could be butchering this, it could be entirely possible, but it takes the incoming audio and it splits the audio into, I believe, 32 different bands, and sort of calculating what's happening in each of those bands. And it's bringing
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
Yeah, that happens. It brings everything equal to one another, closer to one another. So it actually brings all these frequency areas to an equalized position. And in fact, when they, to my understanding, again, my knowledge could be a bit rough at this point. It's been a few years since I studied the origin story of a lot of audio equipment, but equalizers, originally the point was to equalize the sound. So when you recorded it back in the day, you might have these peaks or valleys, big imbalances in audio, and the idea was to equalize those changes into a sound that was easier or more pleasant to listen to. So the goal was indeed to equalize these differences so that frequencies would
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
Frequencies would be coming in at an equal level. Now, obviously, as musicians, as engineers, as artists, that might not be what we exactly want. Sometimes we want the low mids to be slightly thicker, warmer. We want there to be less low end. We want there to be less high end or more, etc. So the goal from a musical standpoint isn't always to bring everything to an equal place, but oftentimes it is something that you are seeking to do. And also what I'm kind of interested about when it comes to this is having a better starting point as well, to bring a sound to a sort of an equilibrium, and then color and
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
Yeah, that's going to happen. Then color the sound in sort of more specific and perhaps creative and textural, vibey ways, if so. And so in that way, this plugin really goes well together with my way of thinking. And in fact, that's why I love plugins like Track Spacer, because it just clicks with the way I'm thinking about sounds. If I have two great sounds, but they're sort of competing for similar spaces, instead of going in there and EQing things in and out, which sometimes it gives you a different result, and I obviously do that as well. But Track Spacer is a wonderful way of, feeding one audio into another and telling it how much it should dip and where, and that's just a fantastic thing. So seems like at Wavesfactory they think quite similarly to how I do, and in fact, Equalizer here.
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
Yes, indeed it is. Equalizer is something that's been on my mind for years and years. I'm like, why does this not exist? Now, obviously, we have tools like OEK Sound or OX Sound Soothe 2, which I use all the time and love. Kind of doing a similar thing here, but it's sort of well, it's in the similar category. Let's put it that way. Then you have Gullfoss, which I also use and love, which kind of, to my understanding, is matching the profile of a sound closer to the Fletcher Munson curves, which are basically represent the human ear sensitivity at different frequency levels, so that you're actually sculpting the audio to match
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
a profile that we human beings enjoy listening to. So how does Equalizer kind of, how is it different to those things? In all honesty, I probably don't have the technical knowledge or understanding to know that, first of all, or the ability to articulate that through my speech. But this, if I'm thinking about this the right way, this is aiming to bring all of the frequencies to a same spot. Whereas with Soothe, it's taking different resonances and bringing them down. But it's not bringing, to my understanding, at least, I don't know if you can actually do it with it. It's not bringing the low points up with the ones that you're bringing down.
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
That's kind of annoying. But so that's kind of more what I would use for resonance control. Then Gullfoss is aiming for that kind of Fletcher Munson curve profile. And this is just looking at different levels at different frequencies and bringing them closer to one another. So it seems like a different tool of its own. Now, this is a blind demo. I haven't dabbled with this much at all. I did have to test it on one track just to make sure the levels are somewhat decent for this. And again, kind of rare for me. You can actually, if I point here on the lower camera, you can see my DAW window here, which I've kind of just mashed on top of my desk here. So you can sort of maybe see, I mean, I have a big screen, so it doesn't exactly scale well.
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
But at least you'll see something that I'm doing here and there. So what I'm thinking of doing now is I'm in a session for a track for Breachway, which is a video game that I'm working on right now. And I thought I'd just throw this on there on a bunch of things and try it out and see how it works. I will have to be balancing with the limiter as we go along because we're testing different things. So if you do hear harsh clipping, it is the limiter. I'm probably going to go in there and adjust it on the fly. So don't blame Equalizer for these kind of harsh sounds. But that being said, very interested in seeing
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
Yeah, that's still going to happen. But we have this main synth here, so I'm just going to play that and also be adjusting the limiter on the fly, and I'm going to be adjusting Equalizer, obviously, as well. So let's get into it.
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
kind of annoying. So by default, this starts at 50%. I just pulled it down to 0 to kind of demonstrate this. But you obviously will hear, as I push this, it begins to pull out a lot of that high frequency information upwards as well, which obviously becomes way too excessive and very harsh on the ear. Now, if you look at this area here, you don't see a control for that. You see a tilt, which I guess would be like a typical tilt EQ filter or something that sort. And then you have a mix knob as well. But with this interface, you have this kind of interesting control here. So you can
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
Yes, indeed it is. You can draw stuff here in this sort of weird DNA kind of a way. Now, this is cool and a bit also weird and strange. If I could calculate these, we'd see if there is indeed 32, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 50. So yeah, probably these represent the individual bands. And you can draw this stuff here. Yes, continue demo. And it changes how much of the processing is applied at each of these frequencies. So this kind of gives you, it gives you the control to control what frequencies get processed. So I'm going to turn this
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo
all the way up, because from a certain, like, if I think about this from a Marcus logical place, kind of, if I want all frequencies to be equal, I would want this to work at basically 100% and then decide where it processes things and where it doesn't, because this high-end frequency information gets extremely harsh. So let's test that theory. I wonder if probably reset it this way, put the amount to 100 and go from there. And obviously this is very cool that I can see where it's doing the work, so I can actually then draw in where I want it to
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
Where I want it to taper off. So let's do that. Now also let's get rid of that low end, because that's not going to be there anyway after I'm done with it. To still get that kind of a harsh pumping there in that sort of upper mid, getting into that high frequency area. So obviously we're using this at 100%, but yeah, well, let's I'm just going to jump into it.
Wait.
Okay, let's do this another way. It's definitely quite subtle, at least with this material. So let's use the tilt here and see how that sounds. Yeah, so that definitely sounds like a tilt EQ. Obviously that's what it's saying here. But I can't always assume that that things are what you expect them to be. But so basically, it sounds like it's when I'm pulling down the high end, it's boosting the low end. So that doesn't seem like a terribly
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
It's a pretty useful, obviously, choice option to have, but I don't know. Seems like with this tool, obviously, it's a good add-on to be there in case a slight adjustment improves the sound. That's obviously what we're trying to do as mixing engineers. Just get closer and closer to the end result. But let me play more with this here. So it definitely opens up the sound in quite a nice way. It's kind of similar to Gullfoss in that sense, although I have a feeling like Gullfoss does that a bit better if your goal is to kind of unmasking is, well, yeah, you're gonna bring down certain information that isn't so useful for the human ear to listen to, and you're going to emphasize the things that are. So this kind of does that same thing there. Let me jump to this different section. Definitely does open it up slightly. Obviously, the brightness is a concern. In Gullfoss, you also have this brightness control, which I think works really, really well. This does have the same thing. You just draw in as much of that reduction in that processing as you want to see. Maybe not the best sound source to look at. Let's try and find a percussive part here. Okay, that will do. Let's go over here. And I'm gonna just check that we're looking at the right thing on in Streamlabs. We are not. Let me gotta go back. Get rid of this. Then choose this one. Go back in here. This is kind of weird, Streamlabs stuff, but I'm guessing it's showing the right.
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
It is not. I don't actually understand why it's not showing me this. That is most annoying. Okay. Equalizer. Get rid of that. Okay, I gotta do... Let's give it something else to think about. This is gonna look a wee bit different or weird. Sorry about that, but Streamlabs is glitching the fuck out because it's not showing me this window at all for some reason. Well, that sucks. Now we have Pro L here. Okay. Pretty difficult to... Gonna be pretty difficult to show the block. Oh shit. Gonna be pretty difficult to show the plugin to you if it doesn't show up. But is this it?
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
Yeah, looks like we're back in business. Sorry about that, but pretty hard to activate a window if it doesn't show up. So we have some drums here. Let's test this out. I'm going to start with the amount at 0 and go from there. Yeah, seems like the 50%, they chose it for a reason, because it seems like a pretty good
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
Not the best thing when you're doing demos. Seems like a decent balance starting point for things, but this is kind of the brightness, because if you're bringing each and every single frequency to the same level, you're going to have very harsh high end, very boomy low end, or too much low end, because the human ear doesn't want to hear all frequencies at the same level. So yeah, this is kind of an interesting tool, because to me it seems like it's giving me a different, better starting point. It's unmasking some of the things, like bringing up some of the things that are quite quiet and bringing down some of the things that are too resonant or have too much volume. It's bringing those closer, and in that way it's kind of opening things up. But it's not working towards what's optimal for the
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
It's not working towards what's optimal for the human ear. It's working towards what is equal, what is at the same level. So it is kind of a different tool. But maybe if I could take this first and then bring in Golfos to kind of even further sculpt it to fit how people like to hear things, then maybe that could be a good marriage of both. But yeah, that high end kind of troubles me. This, because when you draw it with the free hand, it kind of seems like it's a bit, obviously you get exactly what you want, but to know what you want is kind of tough. So that harshness is definitely an issue. Like for example, there I prefer just the raw balance that I'm getting from the drum samples themselves. So kind of controlling that is a bit of a concern to me. So I'm trying to think about a great use case for this, which is more challenging. Let me take these drums over here, and now we need to again get Equalizer to a different place. Let's just see if we can get rid of the previous one and take myself to Streamlabs and try and pick up the right one here. I don't think it's showing again. Okay, it is showing. Plus, that's sounding actually really good. So turn this, turn it on. Gonna pull down the amount, gonna bring it in. And again, this plugin seems like it's so dependent on the source material, obviously, and all of music is about the source material. There is no one way to EQ something. There is no one way to compress something. Depends on what we're hearing, depends on what the sound needs. So welcome to musical engineering. That's what it's like. So probably gonna, I'm suspecting it's gonna inform us about what it is and inform about itself. Maybe not. Wavesfactory Equalizer demo. Okay, maybe not. So we have a rich, deep orchestral percussive part. So let's listen to that and
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
Bring that in. So again, there, beyond the 50% mark, the brightness becomes quite apparent. Obviously, it depends on the material, but at least so far, seems to be a kind of a turning point. So, but it beautifully opens up this part. It beautifully brings clarity and balance to this. Yeah, very, very nice. Let's do that again.
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
Yeah, beautifully just unclutters that. The main thing is to keep an eye on the brightness. That just tends to be the case with these tools here. But that is very, very, very very good. But very, very source material dependent. Let me pull this off again, and I'm gonna go back to the synth part that we started with, but instead I'm gonna take a different section here, and I'm gonna again try and see that I'm I'm seeing the right plugin. This is kind of messy as hell, but Again, not seeing the plugin window here. Very, very annoying. Let me do this amazing trick once again. Show you this wonderful limiter. Go in Studio One, put that equalizer back on there. See if it pops up on Streamlabs. It does not. What the fuck, Streamlabs? This is so annoying beyond belief. Alright, well, hide that one. Fuck me. Why do they... Why is this so shitty? I don't get it. Maybe some of you know.
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
It's not the best feature in this demo. Okay, there's this window again. Do I now see? Okay, there we go. Most annoying, but is what it is. All right, so we're looking at a synth here. So let's get into it. So this synth is quite noisy to begin with, and even with this set to full, I can't get enough noise out of it with this, and it's just because of the source. I can dig into the synth and try and pull it out, but it's not the best source to be showing because it does have so much of that noise. So again, I guess a good example in the sense that there's going to be places where it's going to be pretty hard to pull that off. Let's listen to some of the other drums. We're going to have to wrap up this very soon, but... Okay, let's do that. So that sounds like a bit of a more reasonable balance. What the fuck? I can't see anything here. Yeah. This setup in terms of streaming these plugins, not the best. Okay, I can't find it again. Can I? Nope. Fuck me. Alright, let's... I don't fucking know. Let's try this trick again. Pull this window. No, nope, that's not good. Okay. How can this software be so fucking shit? Um, okay, let me go here. We definitely have that in the right place. It's there. Open this window. Let's do this trick again. I swear this. I don't demo a lot of. There we go. A lot of audio plugins, especially in this kind of. I mean, if I do this, preparation would be better. But since I'm literally trying to figure out whether I want to use this, and I'm running close, actually, really tight on time, so it is what it is. Okay, let's test this on the drums.
Wavesfactory Equalizer demo.
Okay, again, so that sounds fantastic. That's really, really amazing. So very source material dependent to me. If you have very noisy sources, doesn't seem like, at least from what I can gather, that you can fix all of that with this alone. You need to denoise somehow, either like a denoise plugin or some cutting of that high end, and then bring this in. But for balanced material, like for the percussion, this works amazingly. I do want to do an A/B between this and Galfos and Soothe, for example, but they don't. This seems sort of. This felt more meaty in the sense, like I would bring Soothe in when I have a very clear issue, like peak resonances or something. Throw that in there, cut it out, perfect, brilliant. Sometimes I also use Soothe just as a general soothener, I don't know, but to kind of even these kind of free radicals out. And Galfos to me is kind of like let's shape the sound to fit the human ear better, and it just makes things nicer. This felt more meatier, like meaty, not like a flying one, but like more meaty. It makes it more formidable, kind of like baking in some shape into this. So this could definitely have a use case. But as I said, I would need to A/B this against those, and we're running out of time here. So yeah, very nice. This sounds really, really good on this stuff. So yeah, I mean, this would probably be pretty great on especially stuff that has a lot of frequency range. Obviously this percussion it's kind of full spectrum material, and also interested in hearing what this would sound like on the master. But then again, a lot of the high end might turn out to be a bit of a challenge to control as well. But the way I'm seeing it, to sum this up, I would probably bring this in to improve the starting point from where I might want to color things a bit more, define things a bit more. Bring this in for, well, first of all, bring in Soothe to kind of get rid of a lot of the issues, then bring a Equalizer in to kind of even things out, make the body a bit better, and then maybe bring Galfos in to kind of do the fine tuning. But this sounded just absolutely brilliant on the percussion here. So not so great on the synth I had, but it's probably a combination of some of the worst elements I could be demoing this thing on. A lot of noise, a lot of kind of just space and particles and things like that. So not great. I do apologize for that. But yeah, very interested in hearing what this sounds like on a piano and things of that sort. But I'm running out of time. I've already ran out of time. I have a meeting to do right now. So this is going to be it for this quick demo. Sorry about some of the technical mishaps, but this was just kind of like a spontaneous thing to put together. But that being said, sounds very cool, very promising. Definitely has its use cases and kind of difficult areas. Most plugins do, so that's not like a any tool has the same issue. But very promising, very, very cool thing. And like I said, something that I've been looking for years. So interested in putting this through some more sounds. Cool. That's it for this demo. I'll see you next time. Take care of yourself. Can't really do the snap all that easy. There we go. Finish.